The internet is full of scary comments from hosts all around the world saying that previously having 100% occupancy was easy and now they are struggling to get any bookings. I'm a small host and I could not let myself be ruined by the situation. So in this video I will share with you 5 things that you can do to increase the number of bookings and survive the slow season of Airbnb. The first tip is to lower your prices. Yes, unfortunately, lower your prices. And yes, market is oversaturated, so you need to be competitive in terms of prices because it's an obvious choice for your future guest to choose on quality, but take among the high quality listings the one that is cheaper. So yes, here you need to be competitive, means good quality and good price. Also regarding the price, I suggest to use a very well-known trick in marketing and sales.
The rounding off theory argues that shoppers tend to pay a lot more attention to the first digits in a listed price.
So maybe you noticed, but when you go to a shop and you buy groceries or whatever, the price tag is always $1.99, $2.99, $99.99, because in fact our brain registers it as a smaller number that it really is. So if you can adjust your price so that it is 89 and not 90 or 92. It's only $3 or €3 difference, but in fact it's a huge mental psychological difference for a guest to book something below 90 or for 91. It's nothing, but in fact it really works. And so to do that wisely, you need to know that it's not only your price plus the cleaning fees, but it also needs to include the taxes that the guests will have to pay. So to accommodate this, you need to go to your Airbnb listing, like you would be the traveler, and see what's the price for the taxes that you need to pay. And will help you to find the proper price of your listing. So that's definitely something to do. The second tip is to increase your uniqueness and competitiveness, which means go to the airbnb.com as a traveler, screen for the area, check what other listings have, check what you don't have, and think what you can add so that to be better and more competitive in front of your clients. So for example, in big cities, parking is usually a big problem and not all the hosts want to engage to pay monthly bills for parking place. So for example, in our case, that is something that brings us a lot of clients. 95% of all the bookings that we have and really need the parking place. But if you are more in the touristic places, so consider maybe jacuzzi or a fireplace outside or some nice things to do, anything that could make it unique in the area and, appropriate for the guests that are going to reserve in future. The third tip I can share with you is something that we are considering in case the Airbnb is not really giving us appropriate income despite the time we invest in preparing the listing and exchanging with guests and so on. And the solution is eventually to put it as a long-term rental. This is good because it will still keep you in with an income lower but stable, and it will let you wait until the bad time of Airbnb, where the supply is too high, passes through. Why I wouldn't sell my Airbnb? Well, simply because the housing market at the moment is not in a good shape neither. Means loans are very expensive and difficult to get, which means not that many clients are going and looking for apartments and houses to buy, which means the prices are recently dropping. Not a lot, but still in hard times where people try to invest, housing market is still one of the most stables. When is the moment that you should consider the long-term rental option? Well, in my personal case, I will just show you how I would decide on that. So my apartment normally on long-term rental would be rented for €650 per month. But that is all that I get. And that's also something that makes me no additional cost to get this revenue. So now here's the thing. On Airbnb, I usually get something around $1,500 per month, which is sufficiently higher to compensate all the additional costs of heating, water, parking place, and so on and so on. So it's still worth it, and over the whole year you really make a difference doing a short-term rental as compared to long-term rental. So in my case, if my income from Airbnb would drop below 1,000, I would feel that this additional 300 euros is not worth it, my time and my effort. And that would be the moment that I would put it on a long-term rental to wait and observe if the market is rebounding or not, and if it's getting better for Airbnb or not. The fourth tip I have for you is maybe just a bit drastic. We didn't do that, I didn't test it, but it's something to consider eventually. So I told you already that I like to go on airbnb.com as a traveler to observe the trends, to observe the competition, to observe the average prices, to see where are the different Airbnbs in the proximity, what they offer and so on. I talked about the competitiveness. And I'm a very visual person, which means that I will easily remind myself and I will really memorize the listings that were in the area, specifically if they are something nice or maybe something surprising. So what I've noticed recently is that there are Airbnbs that disappeared and reappeared, which means the host decided to delete their listing and upload it again from zero, which makes you lose reviews. So for example, I noticed one Airbnb that was having over 120 reviews, and suddenly now I see it with 10, 13 reviews. And in fact, it's pretty clever strategy. So deleting your listing and uploading it again makes you a new host, which means algorithm prefers and puts you always on the first page. So I put a random date in Grenoble, and already on the first page, 3 listings that have less than 10 reviews. We go further down. Oh, a new listing. And another new listing. Great, and what will I have then? A new listing, and then again a new listing, which makes it 7 out of 15 is basically listings having less than 10 reviews or barely new. So yeah, it's a very drastic option and I'm not considering it yet, but maybe before I will decide to go on long-term rental, I might try this drastic strategy and subscribe not to miss any updates on that matter if you are interested. And last but not least, the 5th tip is to extend to other platforms. It might seem easy and obvious, but in fact, a big bunch of hosts is still loyal only to Airbnb, and the Airbnb market is really saturated. So consider going to other platforms. In Europe, booking.com works pretty well and it's very popular. Make a study, see which other platforms are popular in your area and try adding your listing to these platforms. So we did it, and honestly, not only it increased number of bookings, but the prices that we get per night on booking.com are better. So if you are interested to understand how adding our listing into booking.com helped us to increase the income, you can't skip the next video. And thank you so much for watching. I'm really like a small host sharing my ideas and my opinions. I hope they don't affect you. I hope they only help you, and please share your tips and share your comments just below, and if you can subscribe, this will give me a lot of power and joy in telling me that what I'm doing is cool, and I will see you next time. Bye.